How's it going out there? Feed your mind.
How's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind. In today's video, how's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind.
How's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind. How's it going out there?
I always say that. I'm always like, how's it going, everybody? And I'm like, might as well just say,
how's it going out there? Feed your mind.
Y'all don't like that joke. When y'all aren't around, I sound just like, remember Rich Little? He's from my era. Used to do imitations. I used to do all the imitations Rich Little could do. Always fancied myself as a unemployed comedian. All right, so I know college football about as well as I know the Word of God. And when I saw this kid play this year, I was like, that's your quarterback. No, they didn't play him, even though he had like a 50-yard run for a touchdown, 80-yard run for a touchdown, 60-yard pass for a touchdown, just looking like a superstar freak. And everybody was interviewing the coach, what about this? The coach was like, no, the other guy's our starter. And the other guy was throwing interceptions. And the other guy's a poor man's version of this guy. And the other guy's been playing 4 years, and this guy's his first year getting to play. Well, one's a redshirt junior. This is a redshirt freshman. So you can say 4 and 2 or 3 and 1 years of experience, because a redshirt year doesn't count. And this guy's a grown man. He's what you call a man child, like Babe Ruth was or Mike Tyson was. Mike Tyson and Babe Ruth could beat up most any man on the street at the age of 13 years old. They were known as what you would call a man child. And this guy here, he's one of the fastest players on the team. And he's 240 pounds or 235. And he's got a cannon arm. And they're not playing him. But this week against Georgia, since he did so well, last week they put him in, he had 4 quick scoring touchdown drives. Just boom, 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 boom. But the other quarterback already had us in the ditch losing. And so this guy's 4. And they'll have him go in and throw an interception just to keep the coach honest. So the coach is looking honest, so the coach is looking like, see, he's not that great. And when he throws an interception, you can tell that it's not himself. I mean, college football is bad acting. And I've been sending all of my stuff over to that channel. Hang on just a second. I send all that stuff to my TS Sports Only. It's called TS Sports Only. And for some reason I thought I was on my channel. If you want to go to it, I'll start putting a lot of fake. In the NFL, I mean, I was just listening to the Bucs game. I put it on. It's like having it on in the background, even though I know it's fake because it's football season. And since I don't celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas or Halloween and all the paganism and Satanism, that's what all that is. But to get the feeling of just that time of year, instead of lighting a Halloween candle or a cinnamon candle, I have football on in the background. And I know it's fake, but I like listening to their fake narratives to see where it's going. And they're saying Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the NFL this year, statistically. And he's 40-something years old. Tom Brady, Wikipedia. I can't wait to get into your comments, by the way. It's just going to blow me. August 3rd. That is the mid-summer. That's when they do Bohemian Grove. He might have been born when Sirius the Dog Star was rising, because it's always in early August. I was listening to Jim Brown, Grace and Truth Ministries, concerning Halloween and paganism. And he's got so much wrong. Jim Brown, Grace and Truth Ministries. Jim doesn't understand the deadly wound. He doesn't understand demons. he doesn't understand the fallen angels and the human hybrids. He calls the sons of God the lineage of Jesus or Adam. He doesn't understand. How did you get the giants in those days? And then Noah was perfect in his generations. That's Genesis 6, 1-9. It's explaining the whole thing of the human hybrids, which Chief Howling Wolf would tell you. Chief Howling Wolf Hannibal would tell you their whole Indian their stories of the past all relate to the Nephilim, the hybrids. When you did when you put up your hand, because they would have 6 fingers. So there's a lot Jim doesn't get. There's a lot Jim doesn't understand.
The New Testament was written.
But there's so much that he's good at. He's good at election predestination. He doesn't understand that hell is not eternal torment. So you just have to be careful with him. So there was one I was listening on Halloween, and that's what's been helping me with the crescent moon and all of that. And Druids, Saturnalia, passing. That might be the one. That might be the one. See where the red line is to there? Yeah, that's the one. Because I'm on my channel that I listen to it on.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting.
Somebody's at the door.
Which
kidding.
is,
So this is when for Michael and all of y'all that are really trying to help track this down, he's got that 1109 address, PO box, by the way. And Earl's first 3 digits of 370. That's just me looking at numbers. And there's the 102, Earl War number 2. And 102 is my first marriage. I mean, my second marriage number, 51 plus 51, 102. It's crazy. Ugh. Hey, and it's 138. My favorite number. Remember that? Because it's 24 plus 27 plus 42 plus 45. Anyway, but that's how my brain works. I can't unsee numbers. I'll put this down in the comments for you to listen to, because it really kind of helps tell you what could be a time frame he would go down in Halloween from listening to this. But let me tell you something about what he's telling you, because he's done all this research, is that Halloween and Saturnalia and Mardi Gras, they're all the same thing. So it's almost like they have everything at different times of the year. You got it in the spring, you got it in the winter, and you got it in the fall. The various celebrations of really one celebration. And interestingly, it's October 21st. They posted this. That's an old, see, 2549, that's an old video by him though. Because see, he's up in the 3000s here, and that was 5 years ago. So they reposted that. That's cool. December, Deca means 10. So when Donnie Darko is doing that whole shebang, and everything that relates to Halloween could actually be relating to December, a December to remember, as IPEC Goat is in the winter months, as the snow is falling, and that's the cold full moon. And when you see the Day of Dead, he blows a party horn, and you do not have party horns for the Day of the Dead. The party horns are for New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve plus 43 days takes you right around to the Valentine's time frame. But anyway, when I was looking, he talked about the midsummer. That's when they, if you remember the old Bohemian Grove video, it's a midsummer festival. And I was like, well, what is midwinter? And the middle of winter is February 3rd. What made me start all this? Oh, Tom Brady's birthday is in the middle of summer, is midsummer, which would probably be right at Bohemian Grove time. and February 3rd is midwinter. All right, we're going to get on with your comments. There's a ton of them. This is fantastic.
Feed your mind. Feed your. How's it going out there? Feed your mind.
Another thing I thought about was loose change. Remember when iPet Goat, when the apple rolls across the LC, which stands for loose change, which also stands for 12, L or LC stands for 12-3, which could be March 12th, which is the day I got married the first time. Or it could stand for December 3rd, which is the day before the lunar eclipse. And if you remember in Donnie Darko, at nighttime, we believe, you know, late at night, everybody was sleeping. Let's just say it was 11 o'clock at night. Dad was asleep in front of the television. He hadn't gone to bed yet. And the plane hit. Well, if he goes down on 12-3, and remember, Donnie woke up the next morning on the golf course, and we saw the solar eclipse. So 12-3, I want to put 12-3 into play big time. Like big time. And just to show you the LC, I mean, y'all are not, most of y'all are not new. There's the LC right there. The L and the C could stand for lunar and the crescent moon. Y'all notice that? That's a half moon, which is this October 28th, right? Didn't we do the moon phases on that? This is for December. New Year's Eve is a waning crescent, but it's really the dark side of the moon time. Let's just say we want to go back to October. When you go to the 28th, you do get the half moon or the last quarter. And that also could be lunar. And then you have a half moon sign. Like that's the moon, it's white. It's illuminated in the sky halfway. And that would be when the rebirthing takes place, which is what that flower commentary, fair use commentary stands for. So it's a thought. It's a thought. If you go to TS only though, TS Sports only, we will definitely show you the fakery. I only have 8 subscribers, so they pretty much let you get away with anything you want when you only have 8 subscribers. We got 90 views, 100 views, 89 views. That's fantastic. Her 3rd marriage number, her 4th marriage number. Yay. I'm kidding. Let's go to your comments though. And let's start from the bottom up and watch what an amazing job y'all did. This is how good y'all are. I want to show y'all off a little bit. Isn't it slightly weird that a scholarly research paper was published on 9/1/2001? I mean, yeah, 2001, which of course was the year. of the twin Trumps going down. So one world or the Antichrist could rise back up as, and remember, one tower had a horn on it. Trump is the horn of Daniel 7. Jesus said the Antichrist would be here in his own name. That's how we know for sure it's him, along with his name coming to 666 and 666 coming to his name. So this research paper was about a volcano and a catastrophic tsunami from La Palma in the Canary Islands, 10 days before 9/11. Are they about to pull off 9/11 part 2 with a contrived man-made tsunami? Totally down with that. The fact that they published a paper and the fact that it's in the news is good enough. You don't even have to have the tsunami, even though I would think he would go down first and then you would get the tsunami. And well, let's go back to iPad Goat. Put everything in order of context. So he's gone down. Psalm 23 comes to Valentine's Day. We just did the gematria on that. Or it comes to Happy Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day could all be about that explosion because all you see are the hearts. And then everything about him culminates in that massive explosion. That's what, when he's wearing the heart, that seems to be like the peak and the heart. So Valentine's Day or Lupercalia, or that full moon on the 16th of the birthday of the weekend, could be about absolute massive destruction. So you get back to a solar eclipse, which this is happening. How many days from the buck full moon to, I don't know, that'd be interesting to look at. So you've got a solar eclipse. Lockdowns are still taking place. So the barbed wire is always in play as long as you have lockdowns in place. The Trump exit, we had the stag over his head just a second ago with one angle shot. We showed that the other day, so we won't go back to that. And so from the solar eclipse, see on the 3rd, it's the day before a new moon, because that's what causes the solar eclipse. It's a waning crescent. It's the dark side of the moon, basically. Like we usually can't see it from, it'll be December 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and the 6th, you start to get a little, by the 7th. One thing I always knew when I was the astrologer was when you could see the crescent moon in the sky, it was one zodiac sign, because the moon changes signs about every 2 to 3 days, 2.5 days. And so when you saw it, like that new moon would be in Sagittarius, the Archer, had a bow. The sun is in Sag and the moon is in Sag. And that is the Archer, the bow. And when it says he had a bow and a crown was given to him, well, if the sun and moon are together, that's definitely having a bow, isn't it? So that loose change could just be about lunar and the moon. And that's just a crescent. I don't know. It's got a C for crescent. It's in the shape of the crescent. And if he were to go down on the 3rd, anyway, we're just thinking out loud here. So when we look at the order of things, that's the rebirthing process. And then you get your Psalm 23, which comes to Happy Valentine's Day, which is, you know, is it just telling you what's coming? Because all this is leading to the grand explosion, which seems to be if this was a movie, when that explosion takes place, that would be a pivotal part in the movie. Obviously, him going down would be a pivotal part in the movie. And America falling is a pivotal part. But that climax seems to be that explosion. So this is him going down in the winter. And we consider December a winter month, even though it doesn't officially start the 21st, just like we consider June summertime, but it's not really summer until all the way up to June 21st. So there's your tsunami hitting from La Palma. And there's your crescent moon summoning. He's summoning. He is summoning spirits. Now you can make an argument for October 28th. You can make an argument for, I don't know, we can make an argument for a lot, but so now it's the Baphomet, which is what that symbol is for, the male and the female. The right side up pyramid is male, the upside down pyramid is female. And you see a lot of upside down pyramid logos, like there's a Fisher company for fish equipment, PC, or I don't know. And I see these hats people wear all the time, and it's upside down pyramid logo. There's a lot of them. Oh, that's just the divine feminine. So the Baphomet has sent, and of course, the great city of mystery, Babylon, is represented by the Baphomet, what they call the Star of David. And since that's the great city, they're telling you that the Baphomet of the great city of mystery Babylon has now got New York City underwater. After he's gone down. After he's gone down. He's already gone down. He's going through his transformational process. So anyway, let's get back to your comments. I am going to try and not make this video that long. That 2-hour video we did, though, woof. Or it said my longest video ever. I think I had done 2 hours before, but not on Zoom. I think I did back when I had a camera. So 10 days before 9/11/2001, are they about to pull it off? The damage will be real, but the cause of the damage will be massive underwater bomb or similar. Yeah, I mean, the fallen angel technology that they have in place, because the fallen angels built the pyramids. That was fallen angel technology. All of the ziggurats and all the things that were built that man could not have built were built by the fallen angels. And that's where you get that TV show Ancient Aliens, where they try to make you think we had aliens, but no, it was just the Nephilim. It was the fallen angels that did all that technology. They try to sell you that we were inhabited by aliens. Aliens always means fallen angels, period. the ghost in the machine. They refer to them as aliens, or Elon Musk did, and so did Gordy Rose, working for D-Wave Quantum Computer. That's all in my Telling Truth archives. Go down the playlist and click Artificial Intelligence is the MOTB. Is the mark of the beast, Ghost in the Machine. In that playlist, you hear them tell you that they're contacting entities. They tell you themselves. And they even make fun of the fact that while everybody's involved in politics and so on and so forth, what's really going on is this. Because what's really going on is what we're doing. The politics is fake. The sports is fake. Everything around us is fake. What's really going on is what we're doing. I mean, what we're doing should be on ESPN, ABC, HBO, Netflix. But of course, those that are of their father, the devil, are lost in that world. So, and there's no free will involved in that. You have to understand that. So now I can click it because I didn't want to lose these comments. I saw them last night and I was like, oh, I can't wait to get into these. And there's even more today. Then Jamie said, just FYI, Duran Duran, the boys who brought us Hungry Like the Wolf, because that's what'll be going on. If it goes down when we think it's going down, by the time you get to the wolf full moon, the carnage will just be massively in play because you're dead in to World War III, war, famine, death. So they gave us Hungry Like the Wolf and James Bond, A View to a Kill. Why A View to a Kill? Because Trump will be watching all of this from behind the scenes, just like Palpatine was running the dark side when everybody thought he was dead. And they said, no, he's alive. They said, this cannot be. And the guy goes, cloning, dark science, secrets only the Siths knew. That was in the final Star Wars movie, cloning. Just like you have cloning in the movie The Prestige, which was the same director as the Dark Knight trilogy and the same actors as the Dark Knight trilogy, because Trump is Batman. And I'm so glad I finally found the two videos, both videos, that speak of how Batman is the Illuminati's Antichrist and how all the villains are characteristics of Jesus or God, or what they call gods. Like Catwoman is from the Egyptian goddess, and because they equate our God just to gods in general. And don't forget, when the Antichrist comes, he's doing away with all that. That's why those pyramids fall. He's doing away with all gods and goddesses, including the creator God. They're all going to be lumped into one package of fake destroyed religions, as he will now be the new religion, and all goats are going to fall for it. For God will send them all a strong delusion that they will all believe a lie. They want it. They want the eternal life. Just like sheep want eternal life, it's a calling. They have no choice in the matter. It's not where people are being forced. You better take the mark or we're going to chop off your heads. Oh, let me make a decision. No. All the world's a stage. They've been lying to us our whole lives. We've been having to relearn everything. So The View to a Kill, Trump's front row seat to 9/11, yes, drops a new album, 40 years, because they showed us that through Angel White and Shaking My Head Productions, but mainly Angel White showed us that the Gremlins 2 Clamp, who was looking out of his telescope, and Trump did admit that he saw, the towers smoldering and falling from his tower. And there was a monolith shaped building right at Ground Zero, and I believe it was the Marriott. In Trump's building, or one of his buildings, I think it's Trump Tower, but one of them is also shaped like a monolith. So Duran Duran drops a new album 40 years after the debut, Future Past, Going Back to the Future. So that's the name of the album, Future Past. So thank you, Jamie, for that. Jamie never participated in the voodoo of New Orleans, but she has lived there, and everything we talked about is centered around New Orleans, also along with JFK's assassination. So Katrina it's like ground zero for their spiritual, it's where their demonic spirit, a lot of their sacrifices take place, I guess. So what we're going to look up, Duran Duran, Future Past. 15th studio album. There's that 15 again. Released on October 22nd. Ooh-wee. Wow. Well, look at the album cover. October 22nd, when I met my second wife, when my son turned 22 on the same day. So that might make a good thumbnail. What do you think? Let's do it. So you see the twin symbology, or his rebirthing process. Red dead, green go. Images may be subject to copyright. Well, how much do I owe you if I use it as a thumbnail, you goofballs? They just mean you can't make t-shirts. I can't go out and put that on a t-shirt. Simon Le Bond, like James Bond, Le Bon. Boy, that's close to the dawn, isn't it? Simon Le Bon. I watched a special on them and of course enjoyed it because it took me back to my 80s era. You don't really look like that, does he? He's born October 27th, 1958. Ah! I know y'all like that. 1958. Simon Le Bon, October 27th, right in the middle of the Donnie Darko Halloween festival. Unbelievable. And his spouse was born in 1985, 58 to 85. But James Bond's girlfriend, Madeline, in real life, her birthday is 1985. Now, these could just be coincidence too. It's not everything is everything connected, but sometimes the Lord just cracks us up connecting things for us, which is pretty much what I've been showing y'all. How the Lord just does things. Because the Lord's in charge of all this. This whole Antichrist, this whole war, famine, death, this is his book. Satan just handles it. That's what we have to remember. We're not even going to remember any of this life when we're in the next life. All things are made new again. When that new heaven and new earth comes down as a bride, and then us in it, because God's already wiped away all our tears, and then all things are made new. You're not walking around thinking about when you got married, or when you went to that concert, or when you went to that. It's all gone. It's a clean slate per the Batman movie. Michael Myers comes to, let's go back to Michael Jack. Excellent stuff here. Michael Myers comes to Donald J. Trump or Last Trump in Jewish gematria. And of course, Mike Myers played all those villains. I mean, excuse me, he played James Bond. And he also played the villains. He played all the characters, but he represented James Bond also in, you know, this, all of his movies. The Spy Who Loved Me, The Spy Who Shagged Me, or something like that. Mike Myers, James Bond movies. Austin Powers, thank you. So, I mean, Austin Powers probably comes to something, you know. We're starting to notice that a lot of these all come to, they're retreads of the same, you know, when we get to the English and simple gematria, we're like, oh, we've seen these before. And I think I did look at Mike Myers last summer because I had went back and watched Austin Powers and the second one. So Trump's mother, Mary Ann McLeod, was supposedly mugged on October 31st, 1991. She died 9 years later in August 2000 at 88 years old. 88. She's probably still alive. And then Michael said the original Halloween was released on 10/25. Well, that's my second wife's mom's birthday. And she had an 88 in the middle of her number. Believe it or not, it was a 4885. She was 1954 times 10 times 25. See that 88 right in the middle. So my mother-in-law had the 88. That whole second marriage was all about ushering in, well, bringing me through my salvational process. 3 years exactly after the divorce, 3 years and 2 months, 3 years and 3 months, basically. Because the divorce was on Groundhog Day, February 2nd, and the Lord showed me election. Well, I mean, the Lord pulled me out of astrology and numerology and all that in 2012. And that was around the springtime. Well, it was April, I remember the date. It was April 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. 3 years, 2 months, a week and 5 days. So, thank you for that, Michael. The original Halloween released on 10/25 and was set on 10/30. Okay, it was okay. So, like on the 30th was when the, you know, the setting of the movie is. Halloween 2 was released on 10/30/81. 3 years later. Thank you for that, Michael. And here's Michael and Jamie talking here. So Grover Cleveland was president in 1886. 886 to 86 the 88, or to 86 Trump, or to get rid of Trump, or to assassinate Trump, or to murder Trump. Remember, Get Smart, it was Agent 86. And 86 is on clothing a lot. When you work in the restaurant industry, if you're out of something, you're like 86 onions. We're out of onions, you know. 86 filet mignon. We don't have any more fillets. 86 Trump. There's no more Donald Trump. So when the Statue of Liberty was dedicated, he was the 22nd and 24th president. He was the only president to leave the White House and return for a second term 4 years later. I tell you what, if we got to wait for Trump to be the 45th and the 47th, I mean, we got to put up with all these psychological operations of Alec Baldwin not really shooting somebody for 3 and 4 more years. Are you kidding me? or will him being president just be when he's ruling the world? I mean, I don't want to wait to 2024. And remember, my street ended at 2024. I think that's when the earth ends. I think, and then it's Kinsman Drive. Remember when we showed you that? Christ is our kinsman redeemer. So, and thank you for that. I always found that very interesting. Jamie said that means Trump can be seen as the 44th and 45th president, depending on how you look at it, being the 44th person to hold the office. If Trump were to win an election in 2024, Jamie said, if we make it that far, yeah, because she and I are like, ugh, enough already. He would be the 45, 9, and the 47th, 11 president, the 9/11. 9 times 5 is 45. I don't get the 9, how the 9 relates to the 45. It's a multiple. 9 times 5 is 45. I don't understand how he's the 9 and then the 11. Unless you just mean skip a number. Okay. Just skip a number. I got you. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And Michael Jack says, back to Jamie, I didn't see that grapevine. It's all of us working together with the spirit of truth, John 16:13. Yeah, nice work, man. John 16:13, King James Version, Bible Gateway. Howbeit when he, the spirit of truth, the Holy Spirit is the spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Wow. Okay. Well, we're definitely on it as a group, as a unit. And that's why I read the comments, because we're all a group, we're all a unit. This isn't my channel, it's our channel. Or I'd just be sitting around talking to myself. I wouldn't need a YouTube channel. Israel said, humbly, have you ever looked up the word MAGA in Latin? We did that the other day. Yeah, somebody pointed us to that. MAGA in Latin. Didn't pop up like it did the other day, though, for me. So the AI has already scrambled it around and moved it around. That's interesting. It says very large grade, denoting larger size than usual. That's mega. Is that what we did wrong? Oh, I said MAGA and it brought up. Sorry. That's what it brought up. Which? Still not exactly how it brought it up. Because it gave us about 3 or 4 words like which and this and that. Sorceress, witch, poisoner, poisonous, magical. Unbelievable. They wear those red hats. They have no idea. No idea. Let me go clear my throat. Hang on. All right, so we covered that. MAGA, as you make America great again. Remember the story of the snake that Donald Trump was telling everybody before he got elected? Absolutely. By the way, my friend, I don't hate anyone. I'm just an observer. Agape to you. All right. Excuse me. I don't know if he and I had spoken before. Maybe he came across different and I read him wrong. I don't know. I don't recall. But yeah, no beef with you, my friend. We're glad you're here. Michael says on Trump's birthday in 2012, Obama signed a steel beam at a ceremony for the still under construction new One World Trade Center. Well, remember, we think that could be the abomination of desolation day because there is a super full moon. The same one he was born under, the Gemini full moon. I'm sorry, the Sagittarius full moon. The moon is always in the opposite side, opposite sign of the sun sign. The new moon, the sun and moon are in the same sign. At the full moon, the sun and moon are in the opposite zodiac sign. We don't teach astrology here other than just to track what they do because their world, and again, this is all created by God. Every bit of it. And what's interesting is Daniel was in charge of the astrologers and the Chaldeans. In other words, the entire metaphysical world at that time, Daniel was in charge of them. And he was God's. But Daniel didn't use it to figure out how his day was going to go or who he was going to marry, right? So, you know, hey, me and that girl have a good Venus-Mars connection. That would make a good wife. You know what I'm saying? So, the only thing we use astrology or gematria for is tracking what they do. And since Daniel was the end times, who the Lord used to give us the end times, along with John in the book of Revelation, and Daniel was in charge of that metaphysical world or that astrological world, then maybe that's why, or maybe that's telling us that we need to keep an eye on that. And that's what Heliofant's all about. It's all about the sun and the moon, or the sun and Sirius. I can't figure out that little dot. Is Sirius the dog? I've seen it presented two different ways on different YouTube channels. Because Sirius, the dog star, is their big star, along with Venus, which is Lucifer. And of course, Saturn. You know, they've got all their different stuff. So the fact that he wrote the following message on the beam, we remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. It really does point to, you know, it goes back to that Janet Jackson 1814, where the cellar door full moon of December 18th is the opposite zodiac full moon scenario taking place on June 14th in 2022, which would basically be 4 days short of 6 months to kill 2 billion people. Even though if it goes down in October, the killing can start in November. So, and as soon as Trump goes down, and as soon as the first rioting takes place in the streets, the first person killed is, you start numbering that 2 billion. War, famine, death. War in the streets, warring neighbors for food and water, or warring street gangs for food and water to warring countries, dropping bombs on each other as the leaders are all in their bunkers, laughing. Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of what's going down whenever the wars begin. You know, that would be Trump. This would be the Chinese leader and Biden, you know, Batman and Robin, and Russia, China, Italy, England. They can't wait. And again, if it helps, God ordained us. So you have to get mad at God, right? So you don't, and you can't. Be ye as wise as serpents, yet harmless as doves. Like their motto in their nefarious world is trust the process through Nick Saban and Bill Belichick and all them. They're told to trust the process, that this is going to bring about their new world order. When the bombs start and starvation and we got a place for you to hide and you're going to come here and you're going to go there, people got places to go. Or they're saying just trust the process, because what's going to bloom out of that is going to be rid of all of Christianity. They can't wait to do it. And so obviously the whole theme of the Bible is trust the process of your salvation, of hope. And the Great Tribulation, it's just a process. I mean, Acts 14:22 says, we through much tribulation enter the kingdom. You have to go through the tribulation. And that doesn't mean the Great Tribulation, but all sheep have to go through much tribulation. They have to be hated. They have to be hated. They have to be abused. They have to be tormented, tortured, murdered, killed, whatever. And you think about the Roman empires when they were lighting them up on fire to light up the street lamps, or to light up the streets at night, and or throwing them to the lions. I mean, you know, to celebrate Christmas and birthdays and Halloween and Thanksgiving, and to mesh with the world and just say, well, I believe in Jesus, and you just died, loved by everybody. That's not a sheep. You look back and you go, that person wasn't a sheep. So that's excellent, Michael. That's tremendous information there that really helps us probably, of course, understand he's the Antichrist, that it's on his birthday, but that would be exactly 10 years to the day of the abomination of desolation on the supermoon. It is a supermoon, the full moon on Trump's birthday in 2022. The Trackdown episode called End of the World featured a character, this is Michael again, featured a character named Trump. Was from May, so the episode was May 1958. Okay. Alec Baldwin was born in 1958. Now, this year's full moon takes place on May 16th. 2 days before that is May 14th, the anniversary of Israel. The actor that played the part of Walter Trump was Lawrence Dobkin, died in Los Angeles, city of angels, of fallen angels. That's why it's Los Angeles Lakers. The lake of fire for the angels. That's what the lake of fire, that's who gets tormented. He died on October 28th. Again, my ex-wife's birthday. And sits right in the middle of the Donnie Darko festival, the 26th through the 30th. And he died at 83 years of age when Lawrence Dobkin comes to November 9, or 99 Luft balloons. Also comes to the Dark Knight, world leader, and financial reset. Thank you, Michael. Good stuff. I am learning Alif Bata. That's the name of the channel. It says nice video. Thank you. Thank you. Which one was that? Oh, the rock, paper, scissors. Well, I was watching College Game Day and they go, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. And I was like, it does end in shoot. I wonder what rock, paper, scissors comes to. I didn't do rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I just did rock, paper, scissors. And it did come to Happy Valentine's Day in Psalm 23, or Happy Valentine's Day, then comes to Psalm 23. I can't remember how it all worked, but felt like making another video. After the 2-hour video, it was enough to make me make another quick video. Any thoughts on, DV says, any thoughts on Baldwin from Red October hunting down a love triangle member in a sea of red? That's too cryptic for me to follow. I'm not that quick on the uptake. So we know Alec Ball was in the hunt for Red October. So hunting down a love triangle, that part loses me. Member. Like if you take away the quotation marks, it's hunting down a love triangle member in a sea of red. I just, you got to kind of spell it out for us just a little bit more clear, or spell it out for me anyway. I apologize. And lastly, we get to Michael here. It's the End of the World as We Know It was released on 11/16. And remember, my friends, Tommy Skeeter Smith and Robert Reed were both graduates of mine. They were both baseball players on the baseball team. And they both died early in life. And when I went to Skeeter's funeral, I was sitting next to Robert Reed while he was still alive, because Robert was still fine. And the other guy was Ronnie Spears, who was the next to die, even before Robert Reed did. They all three died, and Ronnie Spears played football and baseball. And Ronnie's birthday was 9/11. So when I was at a November 17th funeral, I was sitting in between a 9/11 and another November 17, who were both to die soon after. And I want to say Robert's death was maybe 10 years ago, but Skeeter's was 20 years ago. And, and so was Ronnie's 9/11 guy. So it always makes me think that 11/17, and don't forget, when I showed you that numbers thing times me, that 14308 times me, it comes to 11/17. And all my favorite numbers added together are 178. And my name is Trey, for Trey. All these numbers have meaning to me. Every number has me. Like I can't look at a group of numbers and it not like tell me something. So we look at that 11/17. Oh, that's not 11/17. It is an 11 and it is a 17. But that's a November 7th, or that's a January 17th full moon. Yeah, it's not 11/17. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart with my math. But 11/17, you put the 1 in front of it. Now you have 1 and then that number 1178, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, In the World as We Know It was released on 11/16. The length of the version was 329. They're always showing us that 239 or 923 combo. they showed us that repeated in more and more movies that can be counted. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of videos back in the day on all that. I remember when I think the Pope visited on September 23rd. We were all waiting on something big. I think that was 2015. The Pope visits on September 23rd.
According to Wikipedia, the 23rd of September, the Pope spoke to a crowd of more than 11,000 people on the White House South Lawn. It was the third visit by a pope to the White House, following meetings in October 1979 between Jimmy Carter and Pope John Paul II and in April 2008 between George W.
Pope Francis to visit White House September 23rd, so 9/23. So we thought something big was going to happen then through all of the predictive programming YouTube channels. All right, so that's pretty much it. And what did I bring up there? The rock, paper, scissors. That's page 5. So I'd gone all the way through it. And the Psalm 23, that's page 2. So I'd pretty much gone through that, you know. And January 31. So again, just keep in mind the whole Deca, December, October. The October is the 10th month, but December really is October. And you know, the whole Donnie Darko began on October 2nd, which could really transfer or translate to December 2nd, because Deca is the 10th month. And I don't know. I mean, they're each off a day for him, going down on the 2nd or the 3rd, and then rising on the 3rd versus the 4th on the golf course. And that Pink Floyd song, "The Lunatic is on the grass, the lunatic is in the hall." Well, if there's cameras in the hallways of the country club that he comes running through after he's stabbed or shot Donald Trump on a golf course, you know, I mean, who wrote that song? Well, the Ghost in the Machine wrote that song for Pink Floyd. I don't think they were that good at channeling spirits. They could have been. You definitely are channeling when you get drunk or get high. And you have these mediums and all of that, but you know. All right, anyway, love y'all very much. Thank you for those comments, Michael, Jamie, and everybody else. Y'all bring so much to the table. And we just keep thanking God for, it says, in all things give thanks, for this is the will of the Lord concerning you. So we thank you, Lord, for putting us here in these end times. You know, just thank you for your discernment, and that we are all in hope of this salvation as you keep purging the world out of us and keep turning us from the world and give us that ability to bear fruit, be of salt, be of light. We represent you. We're the only ones on earth that represent you. You know, we're the best part of your image on this earth, more than any bird that flies, or the sun, the moon, more than any tree or mountain, more than anything that you created on this earth. Your sheep bear your image. We were made in your image. And we know that when you call us, it is to conform us to your image. That's what that's all about, is we're being conformed day by day. It's a renewing of the spirit as you pull us more and more out of the world. So you foreknew us before the foundation of the world, Ephesians 1:4 and 5. So we were predestinated to be conformed to your image. And so when we get the call, we start going through that justification, sanctification, repenting process of being turned. And then we will get our glorified bodies in the end. That's Romans 8, 29 and 30. So, I mean, we just thank you. And any help you can continue to give us, any of us, that helps us get to maybe be able to know when it's going to happen. As we are mentioning, at the very least, we need to be doing is just mentioning to those we think could be lost sheep, so we could be witness to them. Because once Trump goes down, I think a lot of lost sheep will get the call. And then once World War III gets kicked in, more and more lost sheep will get the call. And then, of course, at the abomination of desolation, the final sheep get the call. And then at that abomination of desolation, when the final non-Jewish bloodline, what they call a Gentile sheep, would get the call, once that last one gets the call, according to Romans 11:25, the remnant, then the bloodline that's been keeping the Torah, that didn't know Jesus. And so all that died of that bloodline that did not know Jesus, I don't think were sheep. And but that remnant then comes alive in Christ. And many of them will be in Israel. And to them, the temple is. Now, I don't believe that they have anything to do today with that political arena over there. I think they know what that is. I think they know it's of Satan. I think they know it's of the synagogue of Satan, but they're just keeping the Torah. But to them, a temple is still the holy place. And that's why everything you read in 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 1 through 11, or in Matthew 24, up through verse 24, that really is, and Matthew was said to be written to the Jews for the Jews. And so when you get to Matthew 24:15, and when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, to the Jew, that's a holy place. So anyway, thank you, Lord. And thank you, everybody, for your comments. They were exceptional. Love y'all.